Hello and welcome to Grumpa's workshop. It's my weekly workshop roundup for Sunday the 12th of December. Special welcome to all the new subscribers who have popped over to see me from Dave's channel, Grumpy's workshop. Us Grumpy Granddads have to stick together. Thanks, Dave. And I hope you guys will enjoy what you see and stay with us for the new year, where I've got things planned. I'll be doing a New Year workshop update so you can see what I've got for 2022. This week I've not done as much as I hoped for because the start of the week, as well as the bad weather, Nana Sue's wheels fell off, so it was all hands to the pump for a couple of days, and I've been dragging around with a stonking head cold for no visible reason, due to the fact that we're still isolating and we like it. But I don't know how I've caught it. Anyway, right, back end of this week I tried to catch up on the mock-up and the final cut for the drive gates for number one son. He's had an extension put on the rear and they had to trash the entrance around the side in order to get stuff around. So I'll switch to that clip and show you what I've done on that. Not as much as I wanted, but I have made some progress. But, right, as I said, I'm doing a pair of big drive gates for number one son out of treated 2x4s. So because I'm cack-handed, I thought I'd practice on a 2/3 size scale model to do my lap joints. So that's the basic thing. When it's finished it'll be 6 foot tall, about 4 foot wide. It will have the two styles, top, middle and bottom rail. The four corners will be plain lap joints touching together like that. It's glued and screwed with 4 screws. Because I wanted to practice my hand tools as well as the power tools, I've tried several different ways of doing it. I created a pair of jigs, one to fit on like that to practice the cross cut at the small cut of the lap, and also the 4 drill holes to be used as a template to drill into one side of the lap joint, and then one to do the end clamp that on and use that as a guide to rip cut down. I've tried a few bits on the bandsaw before, but as I say, I wanted to try the others. Cutting them by hand, very successful with both the Japanese saw and my Veritas crosscut back saws for that cut. But for the vertical, of course, it's too deep for the Veritas saws, and the little Japanese saw couldn't hack it on the rip cut for a 4-inch cut. I'll show you a little bit of the video. I tried it, I sawed the mounting, but I'd run out of steam before the little saw had reached the bottom. I've just not got the strength of stomach to cut 16 of them. As it happens, even handling the longer lengths, that was 4 foot, and on the treated timber it's 6 foot lengths. I can actually get it into the bandsaw, so that's how I'm going to finish it going forward. So on the mock-up I've still got to do the 2 notch joints. That's the middle rail, for the middle rail. There you go. I've still got to do that on these. There'll be 4 on the finished article, but I wanted to practice at least twice before I do it on the finished article. So the bandsaw is not very good at creating a series of curves all to the same depth, and it makes a very uneven bottom. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try with the Veritas back saw and with the track saw, the work zone track saw, to create a series of curves down to knock out with the chisel and then use the power sander to finish off. So that's going to happen this week. Once I've done the notches, I can measure and set up the cross member. That should go upwards from the bottom corner on the side of the hinges. You know about triangulation to stop the gates dropping, don't you? So that goes up to the middle of the gate from the swinging style. And I'll cut there and cut there, so it'll bear up against the mid rail and down into the corner. So that's partly blocked out. I've cut the lengths, so I've got the 4 6-foot stiles cut and the 6 4-foot, the cross members, and once I've repeated what I've done on there, I'll be able to cut the diagonals. I won't cut them fully down to size because we don't know what the finished dimensions is when we put the gate post in. It's about that size, but I'm not cutting the actual lap joints until I know the finished gap, so I can cut them once and for all and then treat and glue and screw. So that's that project. That's that. Oh yeah, yesterday, Saturday, I had a phone call and I had to go over to the son's to help him with his kitchen fit out. He's decided to do that himself, which is fair enough because he did a stint as an apprentice kitchen fitter on his white ES many moons ago, and every decade or so he drags me out as a kitchen fitter's assistant as he makes alterations. So I took all my PPE gear over there yesterday and my new Triton T7 router, hoping he'd use it because I'm still scared of it. But anyway, he was more scared of it than I was, so I got to use it. And yeah, that was quite successful. I'll show a photo. I had a clip, but that was a bit too scary because I know one or two of you kitchen fitters and cabinet makers, and I didn't want to frighten you, but we had a ball and we managed to get everything fit by the end of the day. Took out a length of kitchen worktop and a sink, replaced it so we could cut out the hole for the new sink, and that went in okay, and then put another 200mm back kitchen top to create a double depth island behind it. All went very well. I think the hardest thing was the blessed plumbing, because that was a rat's nest and we had problems with leaks. But otherwise, I enjoyed myself, but I was absolutely on my last legs by the time I got home. Half a day's work helping somebody hump around 3 metre lengths on that worktop is no joke for somebody of my advanced years. Anyway, that was good. When I got back, number one daughter had spent a productive day with Nana Sue, and she'd take it on her to dismantle a couple of bookcases I've got upstairs. We're converting the old office to a small guest bedroom, and the Billy bookcases I want to recycle for some shelving in these 2 alcoves here to put all my storage boxes in. So number one daughter dismantled everything and brought it out because I'm too old and rickety to be trusted carrying 6-foot lengths of MDF down the hall and down the stairs without damaging stuff. But anyway, that was a really great help. So they're in the corner, so that's another project. While I was, here's a funny thing, you noticed last week I picked up some of Nana Sue's dad's old books because he was an engineer all his life and he did a lot of household DIY in the 30s, 40s, 50s and 60s. So he's got an old set of The Practical Woodworker, 4 volumes, and I'll show you. For those of us who wonder how we manage fitting everything into the wrong one. No, I haven't. The workshop and its equipment. Arrangement of small workshop. I'll show you the picture. It's like a isometric and then a floor plan. And apparently, the well kitted out woodworker in the 30s and 40s, according to this book, has a foot operated treadle lathe, a little shelf with an engineer's vice on it, a small old-fashioned hand tool bench, and a couple of saw stools. That's like a saw horse, but at knee level. And a blinking great grinding wheel, you see, from the Victorian times. And it can all fit in a 12 foot by 9 foot, but if you look at the second picture, it's mostly floor space. So those of us who don't think we can manage without a 3 or 4 figure workshop in terms of big power tools, all by hand and by foot. Marvellous, marvellous. Oh, and he has a cupboard and a couple of windows. And a honking great wooden hand plane on the shelf by the wall. So there you go. You don't need anything bigger. I thought I'd share that. Right. Oh, the other thing I managed to clear some pallet wood at the side of the house. The good stuff got saved into my secret stash, and the bad stuff went up to the tip. Gardening's a bit on hold until we get a stretch of reasonable weather. Going to do some tool reviews midweek, I think, when I find them. Otherwise everything's fine. As I said, we're on an even keel now, so I'm not too worried. And one son's doing alright with his extension and his work, and I'm prepared to close the drive off when he's finished. That's good. So that's it. Time is getting on for me to publish a Sunday evening review. I'll get off, have a cup of tea and finish putting this in the can, and you guys have some fun in your sheds and workshops. Tell me how you're doing. Tell me what marking gear you use and how you manage to keep track of it in the workshop. Because I'm sure I'm not the only one with gremlins that had their stuff. So I'll catch you next time. You stay safe. Carry on enjoying yourselves in our little domains, making stuff and swapping stories. I'll catch you again next time, guys. See you soon.